Welcome back to the Venom Workshop. So today what we're going to be doing is I'm going to show you how to change your fuel sending unit on this X22R. I know you guys haven't seen this X22R before. This is a black one. I usually have a red one, but it's gone to a trade show for the weekend. So I'll be working on this one. So all you're going to need is a number 4 Allen key and a Phillips screwdriver. And that's pretty well it. The tank comes off pretty easy on these. You're actually going to need a 12 or a 13, either a socket or a wrench. It really doesn't matter. It's just the one bolt that holds the tank on. So let's get started here. I'm going to get my camera into place and we'll start getting everything off. So you'll see I already took the seat off, which is not a big deal. The reason I took the seat off is because I'm charging the battery on the other side. So you're going to have to take the fairings off on both sides. So this fairing's going to have to come off, and then this fairing here, we're going to have to take off a couple bolts, but the whole fairing doesn't need to come off. So we can go ahead and take this one off, but the other one's the exact same. So I'll show you how to take this one off first, and then we'll kind of go from there. So all you have to do is take this bolt off. This one way down at the bottom here, I'll take it out. Oh, I just filmed that in there, so I'm gonna grab that. There we go. And I'm just gonna get my screwdriver and we'll take the screws off. Okay, so next we need to get the screw here, and there's another screw right underneath here. So I'm gonna turn my camera so you can see a little better. So there's one screw there, and one screw underneath here. Now this fairing, when we take it off, we're not going to remove it completely and just take it right off the bike. We're just going to actually pull it off because it has the seat lock on it. We don't need to take that off. So just give it a quick pull off of here. Let that cable go down behind and just let it sit like that. That's all it has to be on there. So now just go to the other side, do the same thing. Get that same fairing, it'll be the exact same bolts, take it off, and then we'll come back and get started on the tank. Okay, so you went and did the other side, we're back now. So what I'm gonna do is, first off is I'm gonna take this one off. And this one. And then this one right here has to come off as well. I don't know if you guys can see that. So right up here. And that one usually has a nut on the bottom of it. There we go. Just put your nut and your bolt together, and then you know which one's which. And now we have to go to the other side and do the exact same thing. So I'm just going to pop around to the other side, and we'll get the other side off. Okay, so I went ahead and removed all the bolts from the other side. So now we have just the one bolt. That's this bolt right here. It's a 12 mil. So we'll go ahead and remove that. And there should be a little rubber right underneath the tank there. Just leave it sit there. It's the buffer, so we're not going to move it or anything. So we're going to lift our tank up. When we lift our tank up now, what we're going to be doing is we want to get it off and pull the fuel line off and the fuel sending unit wire off. Okay, so when we do that, we're going to lift up on the back of the tank. We're going to grab the front of the tank, and we're just going to shimmy it back like that so it lifts off the grommets in the back. Now we can flip the tank up and look underneath. And when you look underneath, what you're going to want to remove is, we're going to turn this off. I don't know if this bike's got gas in it, but I do want the gas. So you're going to turn your fuel pepcock sideways to turn the gas off. And then you're going to remove the hose. So this one did have a little bit of gas in it, not much. And then there's one plug right here. You're wanting to disconnect that. And then we can just shimmy the tank up and out. So this tank does have gas in it. Not much, but a little tiny bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to put your tank down, how to get the fuel sending unit off it. I just want to get something to lay the tank down on, because you don't want to lay that down on the cement. If you do that, you're just going to scratch it all. You don't want to do that. So I'm going to get something to lay it down on, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so you see I just have a t-shirt laying on the floor here. And what I did was I put a piece of cardboard underneath it and just laid down a t-shirt over the top like that. And I'm going to show you why. Because we're going to get our tank now. You're also going to need a 10mm socket to take the nuts off on the bottom of the fuel sending unit. And we're just going to set our tank like that for now. And then I'm going to get my camera down here and into place. And I'll show you how to take off the fuel sending unit. And we'll move up a little bit and let's get a look at this. So I've got my socket here. So all we're going to do is we're going to lay it up on its side like this. And then you'll see right here, that's our fuel sending unit. So as long as I have my tank canted like that, even a little bit of gas that's in there is not going to come leaking out. Now, that we can go ahead and get our nuts off. That, and then we work it out like that. So that's your fuel sending unit right there. So now when we replace this, you want to make sure that this O-ring is sitting flat part right there. And then, well, I guess it's some are flat on the bottom, some are round. This one's rounded on both sides. So you just put it down exactly like that. Now to put it inside there, you put it in, just follow your line around like that, and then push it into place. Just like that. And your wire on the X22R should face forward, just like that. And we just have to put our nuts back on. Now when you put your nuts back on, go corner to corner. It's a lot easier. That's how we're going to tighten it too. Just like that. All right, now we can go ahead and tighten in our nuts. Okay, now we can just go ahead and, like I said, corner to corner. And just till they're snug, don't over tighten these, you'll just strip the nut. Nice. Like that. And like that. Now you've got your fuel sending unit. It's perfect. It's ready to go back in. So I'm just gonna get my camera set back up, and we'll get this tank back into place and get everything set back up. All right. So next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and get our tank back in. Now you're gonna see two tabs. There's one here and one here. And what we're going to do is we're going to slip there on the tank. There's two tabs on the tank that those slip into. And we want to be careful that we don't pinch our throttle cable here. So let's get our tank. And like I said, we're going to line up the tabs with the tank. So we want to go on either side of our fairing and then slip it in on the tabs. And you want to make sure that you slip it in straight. There we go. So that slipped in. Now we also want to remember to hook up our fuel line and plug in our fuel sending unit. So we'll set this up like this. Our fuel sending unit plug is right here. We'll just plug it back in. Like that. And then our fuel line, we're just going to hook back up to our fuel line. As we find it, there it is. So our fuel line's right here. We'll run it back. Okay, down, and then we can hook up our fuel line back together. That's perfect. Good. So now our fuel line, everything's hooked back up. Our tank is slid back in. And now we just want to line up this hole like that. Check your throttle cable. Yeah, I didn't pinch my throttle cable. It's perfect. You just want to make sure that's lined up correctly. Now I'm going to get my socket so I can go ahead and put my 10 mil back in. Or sorry, my 12 mil. Okay. So that's back in. Now we just have to go around, put our bolts back in on our our fairings, which is really easy. We just need our number 4. So let's get our fairing bolts back into place. So I'm going to do all one side with you, so you can see what we have to do, and then you guys can go over to the other side and do it yourself. It's the exact same thing. So we can start by putting our fairing bolts in. We can put our fairing bolt in up here, the one with the nut. So the one at the top right here, we'll start with that. And then if you turn your handlebars all the way one way, you can reach underneath and put the nut on. Yeah, I'll probably use my other hand. I dropped my nut. Dropped it again. Usually it doesn't give me this much trouble, but it's difficult because I want to get it so the camera can see it. Nah, I'll reach up from underneath here. Nuts up in place. Now I don't want to tighten it all the way up because I want to make sure that this fairing goes in tight to the tank. So I'm going to do that. Okay. I can tighten that one down. Then we can go ahead and put this one in. Next, You can put this one in. Perfect. Now we just have to take our last fairing, bring it up, and there's a little tab right here that snaps in right here. So we'll have to put our one bolt in there. And there's another one that goes down here at the bottom. There we go. And then our two Phillips screws, one at the top and one underneath the fender. And that's it. Over here. And then the last screw goes right underneath here. And that's it. And so that, guys, is how you change the fuel sending unit on your X22R.